Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. I believe it is working now. We had a little technical difficulties, but I think it's working now. So let's get into it and see what's going. Oh, now it says it's having trouble on the Facebook, but I don't care about that one. Anyway, I'm pretty sure YouTube and X work. That's perfect. All kinds of difficulties tonight with it. I have no idea, but let's get into it. All information presented here is for educational and informational purpose only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. How is everybody? There you go. That's what the heat map looks like. I had to reset the entire computer, and it looks like the Facebook stream's down. But like I said, I could care less. It looks like YouTube and X are working, guys. Just let me know if you're on one of them and you can and you see it. Looks like some people are hopping on there. I don't know what was going on at the beginning. It just wouldn't play the stream or play my share my screen. I mean, so anyway, let's get to it. See what's going on. What a wild day it was. If you were in the Discord, we were on there. Works right there on X, and it looks like Laptop Travels on the YouTube, and he wore a yellow shirt today on the Discord morning show for a reason. Cash is your best friend right now. As we're going into it, going to be shopping for bargains coming in our way. I agree with you. And remember what I said last night and this morning, guys, what I did say about the SPY. What did I say? I didn't think it was going through the MACD and it was going to be bouncing down. So I said it, immediately. And, if you listen to the morning show or the Discord, we were kind of calling things pretty accurately. I saw Microsoft real early there, and last night's night note might have been one of the worst, although it did have YYAI on there, which was a beauty over 100% right there. I know a lot of people were cashing in on that, so that was a beauty. But other than that, there was like no momentum plays. None of the setups were right. It was just one of them days where you're just like, oh man, that's pretty bad right there. And obviously the market kind of reflected it. It was bouncing around a whole lot. As you could tell, it's kind of choppy, and you might see it pull back to this 50. Ben and I were talking about it today, and you might see that pullback. I do think you are, because it's rolling off the MACD, could come down and retest it, possibly even Friday. We know we have things coming up, which tomorrow right there, Thursday, is jobless claims, but the bigger thing is the core inflation, the CPI, on Friday. So that is exactly what we're looking at. Yeah, Laptop Travel got out of Beyond just in time at 7:02. Look at that thing. Ben was shorting it down all day in the Discord. If you were in there, he was nailing it. I played it early. I got it out just in time too. Got some profits. I got some profits on AIRE as well. So again, I made I didn't even post them in the Discord. I bought them at 4 a.m. and I knew they were going to be a little volatile. I had no idea what to expect, so I just locked in profits quick, and they just started to dip down there even faster, and they ran up quick, and then boom, it was just going down. They popped up a little bit, but both of them came down. That was AIRE. BYND right there, same situation, popped up and then bam, came straight down and has been coming down and probably will continue to go down. I'm surprised they didn't even have an offering. Maybe they did. I didn't even pay attention. You guys know that, but I don't know. Maybe they didn't. I would expect an offering right there. So yeah, YYAI up 142% there for Laptop Travel. So yeah, some of us were playing that as well. I think Doge Mama 9 had a real good day on that one. She was asking about it. We timed it out perfectly, guys. I mean, you can't talk about timing it out any better. And boom, you didn't have to tie up any capital, caught the very bottom, and it working its way up over 100% like that. So that's why you listen to the show and pay attention to the Discord, because that's what we try to do. Even in a market that looks like this, guys, we still pull out the poppers nonstop. And yeah, that's why we do this every single day. Obviously, we'll never be perfect or 100%, but we're pretty accurate. Like I said, I figured the SPY was coming down today. There was no way in hell it was going through that MACD. I could see that not happening already before it even happened today. And again, tomorrow maybe it wants to bounce up. We'll see how it opens. You got to kind of see how these things work out each day right now in a choppy market, a wild one. But I'll tell you what, even the QQQ right here did the exact same thing. These things are setting up bullish, guys, and they're still over the 50 DMA right there. So, or the moving average right there. So, yeah, I would say they're still in safe positioning. We'll see if they do come down and touch down. Ben and I were talking about it for a little while, like I said in the Discord this afternoon as well. And we'll see. Maybe they do pull back on Friday. And that's why cash will be your friend, like Laptop Travel was saying at the very beginning. So we're definitely keeping an eye on things right there. Gold came down, your UVXY. And remember, we were talking about this the other day. It had already popped up. It was pulling back, but I said with the VIX, and I'll show you. You'll probably remember because I remember saying it wasn't with the UVXY. I know it was with the VIX, but you can see this thing was popping back down. It's going to run up a little bit right there. But here with your VIX, remember it had jumped way up right there. And let me just pop this up so we can see exactly. Remember, it was rolling up, and I said, there's no doubt it's going to come back down and roll back up one more time right there. You could almost see it happen. And I thought it would probably go off the MACD, to be honest with you, but it curled through. But the 20 and the 50 were going to meet up and smack it up in the air. I remember saying it. And there you go. That's exactly what's happening. And it could be there tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So we'll see. Again, it could be dipping, and maybe the CPI report comes in light, and then the market wants to run. It's one of them coin flip areas, and again, just be patient with it, and we'll try to get the best opportunities for that day and ride them up. And sometimes, I guess, in this kind of market, you got to kind of look at it in the morning and see what you're looking at, because it changes around so fast. I mean, some of the ones that had been set up there last night obviously didn't stay set up, but Rocket Mortgage, look at that thing, went up, and it was down in the morning, and then made its way up there. You can see it ran up and then pulled way back, and then bam, it started to run up. So some of them started to pull up there. What is that? NKLR. We were trading this one in the afternoon session, and we actually sold it a little bit early, to be honest with you. But we called that bot, like that dip or that pop up pretty good. I forget exactly where we even bought it, to be honest with you, but I know we exited it pretty early, around $8. So that was NKLR, and it was fine. It was just a quick little play, and it was running up there, so you could just see it was about to move. And again, you can only pick so many to play and be able to trade, and you just got to trade them smart. Get in and get out while they're up, and that's what I try to always preach with you guys. Is it's very important to lock in those profits. You never ever know what the market's going to do, and you can have 3 amazing weeks, and 1 week can just wipe you completely out fast. It's happened to me many times. That's why I'm always talking about locking in those profits all the time, because I've seen it happen so often. And yeah, when it goes good, it's great. But then when it's bad and you're in a bunch of positions, and that's why I tend to not get into a bunch of them. And you'll see that if you only have 1 or 2, if you have 4 or 5 of them and the whole market goes tanking, you tend to get beat up pretty quick. If you're just in 1 or 2 of them, you can kind of get out of them fast. You're monitoring them a little bit better. And again, you just got to allocate your positioning right, especially in these times like this. When it's really, really risky, you got to be able to, not be going all in and try to get crazy. And they all don't run like Beyond, and that's what Ben was talking about today, and why he doesn't even mess with it. And again, I scalped it real quick, got in and out, and that was it. But yeah, they will mess with your head, because then you think everything can run like that, and these are just pumped up ones that get pumped. And obviously, we looked at it back here because it was setting up, guys, and it was in like the 60-cent range when we were talking about it down here, just because it was getting set up, and then it happened to get a major pump. So that is what you saw today. And again, it did run up there, and then it did pop back down. So that was your Beyond fun. And it did go from it went from to infinity and beyond, and then came right back down, I would say. So interesting right there. And yeah, your UVXY. And Zach was wondering if the new coin right there, Bet. I can't look it up, obviously, but the Flawless Wow wanted to launch his own coin there, so we all said, "Hey, you launch a coin, and we'll back it, and we'll get into it." Let's put it that way. So let's see what happens. And it was Bet, BET. You saw me post the thing, and they did confuse me because they posted another address for something totally different. It wasn't even a coin; it was just a wallet, and I was just confused. And of course, it doesn't take much to confuse me sometimes like that. But anyway, I fixed them all, and the right address is there. So if you're interested in meme coins, you can check that out, obviously. And again, it'll only run for so long, just like everything else. So we'll see if how much it can run up there. It's got to get bonded and all that good stuff. It's brand new, so we'll see what happens with it. But he was talking about it, and like I said, a lot of people said they would get behind the Flawless Well, and I obviously said I would. He's a good dude, so we'll see what happens with with the Bitcoin here. So it just started tonight. So that's what that was right there, Zach. And would you say, wondering if the ETF is cooked or do we continue to wait? Well, actually, it'll probably be pretty good. A lot of people probably got out of it and swapped to get into this coin, I would imagine. And then you probably should have like all the nonsense out of it now. So that actually could get picked back up. And I bet if people make money on this coin, I bet they're going to get right back in the ETF and try to get that cruising. So that is probably what will happen. And I guess it depends on how well this bet does. So yeah, we'll just keep an eye on it. And like I said, I told the Flawless, we were talking about it, and I said, "Yep, you make a coin the Flawless, and I will definitely jump in early with you. And when you post it, and then we'll try to see what it does. And we know what these coins do, guys. It's a community-based thing, but they can get popping pretty quick if it gets the right momentum behind it and the right buys and everything else. We know how they work pretty well, so I don't really need to go into it. We've talked about them before, but that's what that was. If you guys were all wondering, and like I said, I didn't even know I was posting the wrong address. It's not like it was a different coin or the wrong coin. It was like an address for the Flawless. Well, I had no idea what it was. I thought that was the address that he posted, and above that he had posted the right address, and they were talking about something else. Again, guys, it doesn't take much to confuse me sometimes. You guys know that. So anyway, that's what that was, and I'm glad a few people hit me up and said, "Yo, I'm trying to find that coin, and it doesn't seem to pop up in the deck screener." And then I looked, and Laptop Travel hit me up and said, "Yeah, same." And so then I had to look, and they were telling me like, "Yeah, it's definitely you posted the wrong thing." So that was my apology. So anyway, that's what happened there, Zach, and we'll see what happens with our ETF 500. Again, it's way down there, obviously, and I think we're going to try to get it moving. We just knew it was going to be down there, not doing much. So we'll see what happens with our bet and see if it gets running. If it does, people will try to lock in profits, obviously, and I bet they'll be taking them back there to get that cruising back up. So that is that right there, Zach, and everybody else. So if you were wondering, and Doge Mama 9, oh yeah, that YYAI was nice for you too, and Laptop Travel and everybody else that was jumping in. I had a couple other people hit me up and say that was a beauty how you decided to wait down until it got to the very bottom and said it was going to pop on the day it ran 100%. And there you go, guys. We looked at it, we tracked it down. Remember, it was on the in the scanners up here, and I just didn't like it when it was coming down. And then we were watching it, and I said, "Yep, it's about to curl up, guys." And that was the bottom right there, and bam, there you go. So we liked it, and it definitely made Doge Mama's 9's day right there. And then her Dodgers are in the World Series starting off Friday. That'll make her day too, especially if they win Game 1, and that's in Toronto. So we'll all be paying attention to that. And can you believe Halloween's in a week from Friday, guys? So this Friday, next Friday is Halloween. We'll be out trick or treating and all that good stuff. So that's crazy in itself. And then we'll be rocking and rolling right into November. We'll be eating Thanksgiving dinner very, very soon, and then getting ready for Christmas, New Year's, and all that. So all that happens so fast. You know, I always talk about it often, how quick it is, because I always look 3 months in advance. And it does look like the market's going to be running at these at the end of the year right here, whether it's like the first week in November when it pops off, and we'll just go, "Oh, I had to restart everything. Hold on, let me do the poly market right here and pull up some of them." What were we talking about? The government shutdown right there. So we'll look at that government shutdown. That's right there. And let's see, November 16th. I was just wondering, but that was curling down earlier. I was looking at it. So we'll have to see when that happens. And again, when this thing ends, you know, the market's going to rip, but they're also going to have a rate cut as well. And we can look at that. And that's the Fed rate cut. Let's see, which one do we always look at? The one in October right there. And yeah, this thing's way up there. And again, it's next week, guys. What's the 29th again? I forget what day it is. It's Wednesday. So next Wednesday, it's coming up pretty quick. And yeah, that's going to be, I don't think it's jumping off a cliff. Let's put it that way. And you even have your December way up there. And I still don't even think that's good. I mean, that blue one these might curl up, but I bet they'll bounce right off, almost like you saw that government shutdown do it the other day. And you'll see, and we talk about that. It has to have a certain look. And you guys know I can see it with no problem. I called the election so perfectly with the popular vote. It was the most insane thing, and I absolutely said it was 25% Trump, 75% Harris in that morning of the election, and I said, well, that one's jumping off a cliff, and this one's going to 100%. It has that. It has to have a certain look, and you can tell immediately. And yeah, these don't have it. They'll bounce off each other, and then they'll go back up. So that's what it looks like, and that's the government shutdown right there. So it's interesting. And so yeah, that October 31st. Remember that one was looking pretty strong. Well, that one, I mean, we'll see what happens as they get up there. They may I just don't see it happening that soon. Maybe that dark blue one right there tries to get popping up, but it's interesting, that's for sure. The one that looks like it wants to run is October 31st to the 3rd, and they keep moving that back right there. Remember, it was like November 5th the other day, and then now it's November 16th. And yeah, I just don't see them happening right there. And again, that Fed decision, that's definitely not happening. This one could happen before, because it's so tight and close right there. This one's not going to happen. They would come down and bounce right off each other. So yeah, we're getting ready, and that's in December, guys. Look at the October one. There's no way in hell that one's popping off, jumping off a cliff right there. It just doesn't look like it at this moment. Maybe as it gets closer to next week, but I doubt it. So yeah, we're getting rate cuts, and again, we have a government shutdown. They don't even have a choice. So we've explained it and talked about it before. So let's get into the market here, since we had a little bit of technical difficulties to start the show. But we got everything fixed, and I appreciate everybody coming back and giving me a couple minutes. So thank you, everyone. And yeah, I tried to hop on, and everything was all jacked up. It was just working, and I was like, came back, and it was a white screen. I said, wow, that's weird. I've never seen that before. Let me just kind of redo it. And every time I tried to redo it, it wouldn't work. I had it already set up. And so, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just needed to restart my computer, and the StreamYard was acting up. I'm not even sure what happened. But anyway, we're back. We're here, and here we go. So what's up, Deep Soul Diving? Do you guys think oil will keep going for a few days, or was it one of them disappearing after hour pops? I honestly think these guys are getting set up, and I think you see a market rotation, as a matter of fact, and we've been talking about it. Look at this RBN. Oh, look at it. I was talking about it today. Holy cow. There you go. Literally in the Discord, guys, I was talking about this thing, saying, keep your eye on this bad boy. It likes to run, this Robin Energy. Who was it? Oh man, G something. What the heck is it? That's always in the Discord. I can't think of it. I wish I had a photographic memory. I try to do it still, and I just don't see things like I used to. What, Progressive G or something? That's who it always is. Something like that. I'm not sure if it's exactly that. He was just we were talking about it, and he said, "Yeah, keep this posting." I said, "I will, because we love to now this thing. It looks great." And I was saying it looked really good right there, and it popped up. So RBNE, you saw that start to go up. Was watching it because you told us, but I was concerned. I'm telling you, this thing just gets wild all of a sudden. And I literally said it today on the show. And I think Ben thought I was crazy. He was just like, what? And I was like, yeah, RBNE. And he didn't know what I was talking about or anything. And then, yeah, and I was talking about this one. And this one was getting set up too. You could already see it. But RBNE, I looked at it yesterday. I remember I was like, well, that one's looking pretty good. And I literally was talking about it on the show today. And there you go. And I'm pretty sure it's Progressive G, right? Isn't that who's always on in the Discord? I think so. Oh, yeah. Doge Mama 9. Thank you. I meant to post that and tag you on that. I'm so sorry. EONR, that was a beauty right there. Yeah, that gas and oil looking good. So absolutely right there. And that was a beauty. Yeah, I meant to tag you on a post, and I just got sidetracked today. I'm telling you, we do the shows in the morning and afternoon, and it's kind of it's fun. I love it, but it is a little exhausting. But it really zones you in, and you get, if you guys are listening or able to pay attention, you should. I'm telling you, me and Ben, it's like a master class there. I mean, we can read the markets pretty well, and this is a choppy ass market. Wait until this market just levels out. You guys know, or if it even likes to go down, it tends, like I say, when everybody else can't pick them, that's where we'll shine. Especially, and Ben says the same thing. He's pretty similar right there. So we'll tend to be able to pick out that one or two poppers out of everything, and you guys know that. But yeah, in this choppy market like this, obviously, I mean, you get in these pumps, and that's the thing with the with our Discord. We don't do the old pump and dump thing. I don't believe in it. Ben doesn't believe in it, so we're not going to do it. And it's unethical for one thing to go, yo, everybody just pile into the stock, and we'll try to run it up as much as we can. We don't do it. I look at charts, and that's what I base everything off of. And again, guys, I mean, if you go back to BY, what is it? What the heck is it? Beyond BYND. That's it. Can't even think of the name. Holy cow. But we were looking at it down here again because of the chart before anybody was talking about it to get running like it did. And we had been pointing it out and saying, hey, it looks pretty good setting up. And then I told you it was way up there during COVID as well. But anyway, yeah, that's what I look for. We look for the charts, we look for the bottoms of things, and we look for setups. I don't ever try to follow the big pumps. This one this morning, you could clearly see it was going to run up early, so I did. I literally woke up at 4, bought it, and just traded a little bit. And then also that AIRE, it had looked good. And again, these things are down. That's why I didn't really. I said on the night note, this was going to be running up there, and obviously it was getting pumped up. And then here you see it got pumped right back down real quick. So there you are with them guys. But yeah, that's that again, these poppers like that. And I said to Ben in the store, in the Discord, I said, how many people you think chased this thing way up here and lost a ton of money? Because again, it was getting so pumped up there, and people were acting like it could just run forever. And Laptop Travel, now that he got out at like 702 or 703, it was pretty good because it did spike up early and got into that top territory, and then it was coming down. I mean, he nailed it at the time. It was like right around up in here, wasn't it? Yeah, it had to have been. I don't remember where it was. Somewhere's in here, obviously, at 702. But you could see it started to really pull back there, and he got out just in the right time. I know that because we were on there. And again, if you hop on, so in the Discord, you'll hear us going to town there in the morning. But yeah, if you look at so many of these other investment services, they are paid advertising services. For Insider Financial comes to mind that pump stocks for a fee. I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. And again, it's not something I would ever even do or even think about doing. Again, if a company wanted me to represent them, I would clearly make it. You guys would know, just like Ben does anytime, like Sinez Tech. And yeah, you can interview the CEO. You can look at the charts, the technicals, even check out the fundamentals, do that type of thing, and see if you can help the company. But obviously, you're not pumping it, and you're obviously telling people, "Hey, I'm being paid to represent this company." So just letting you know up front, and then you got to let people know, "Hey, I am in this stock as well." So. But that's obviously we are very transparent about everything. We tell you when we have losses. We tell you everything. And again, you're not going to be perfect. We got beat up on IVF. We were watching it today. We were talking about it. It started to pop up there and looks pretty decent. And I was telling Ben how we talked about it for like 20 minutes last night and everything we were saying. And I even broke down the chart and was telling him. And we agree, obviously, because the company just completely screwed up there. So. Again, it's actually a great example of how you just never know what's going to happen. As well as you can read that chart and you can see that what's supposed to happen should happen, it doesn't always play out like that. So that does happen as well. And but yeah, just a great example right there. And that's what you do. You learn lessons in the market, and then you try to make them always a better decision the next time. If you keep making the same bad decisions, that's not a good thing. You definitely have to make better ones. And that's where I've learned you just have to lock in these profits and just not care if they go up. And again, like the Beyond, I had sold that the other day. I was in it, So I mean, I traded it a couple times, but they were all kind of quick because I just don't trust these pumps. And it went way up, obviously, and obviously a lot of people made great money on it. And I bet a lot of people got beat and got burned on it at the top there and are losing money. So it goes both ways, that's for sure. But again, something like that, you got to be super careful with them. But anyway, we'll look at that RBNE again because that's a gorgeous one. And I did say it was going to run in the disc. I'm telling you, we were talking about it. Whoever else was in there, you guys definitely know. Does it have more room upward, Curtis? It sure looks like it does, doesn't it? It looks beautiful tomorrow. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, let's look at that minute chart. Look at that thing. It looks like it wants to get ripping right there. So, you got to love that RBNE. And yeah, I'm telling you, we just love this thing because it does. It just pops up. So it could really get cruising. Let me pop back out. I messed up the chart right there. And there you are. So yeah, what did it run up to that day? 667. And look at it. It wasn't even that. It was strong, obviously going up. This thing looks like it's getting really strong right there. This thing could get rocking and rolling for us, guys. RBNE. So obviously, we'll be keeping an eye on that in the morning. You can't see. Where's the purple? 221 right there. So it's popped up, that's for sure. And it does look like it's going to start out pretty strong right there. And literally, I set it in today. And I think Ben was like, what? He asked me, he was like, what's the stock ticker? I said, RBNE. It's Robin Energy. We watch this thing. It loves to pop, and it's looking pretty good. And then, yeah, and I was saying, I was like, well, I'll let you guys know, but it does look good. And it obviously ran the after hours. I wasn't even paying attention. Unbelievable volume. Yeah, it's insane volume. 2.23 billion right there. That's the most you've ever seen. It was no joke right there, Doge Mama 9 for Beyond. And we kind of called the top of it too. I'm not going to lie. And Ben was shorting it down the entire day. So that was a beauty as well, both ways. And that's what I think we're going to start focusing on, to be honest with you. We'll run them up. And when they get topped out, let's just buy our puts. We don't have to short it. We can put it down instead of shorting it. So we'll just kind of run it down that, because if you short it, you can have, if it pops back up, you're in for unlimited loss. And if it's just a put, it's exactly what you put into it. You already know your maximum loss. You'll lose what you put in. It's not an unlimited loss. So obviously we got to be protecting ourselves and not shorting things. I don't like to short things. I don't even know. I've never even shorted anything. And so yeah, I've done the puts going down, and that's just like doing the calls going up. You're just doing the puts going down. So if anybody ever needs help, I'll walk you through it as well. And again, you're just buying it on the right hand side instead of the calls on the left hand side. It's the puts on the right hand side, and then you just look at them and that direction that you want it to go in. And Webull makes it pretty easy for you. I'm not gonna lie. So anyone ever has questions, you feel free to reach out on X, send me a DM, and I'll definitely help you out. But yeah, I think that's what we're going to look at as well. I mean, we're not going to get in the short and everything, but if these things are going to run up like this, and we absolutely know they're crazy, we got to be shorting them down or putting a put on them and riding them down just as we want to ride them up. And they just jump right down like crazy. Look at gold's recovery today. It went way up in the morning, way down there, and then recovered big time there. So that's going to be an interesting. I didn't mean to do that. That's going to be an interesting one in the morning. I wanted to talk about hitting that 50, and does look like it wants to bounce off. So there you go with that. And here we go. Let's go through our list and see what's going on. We don't really have any sports games on to update about tonight, so nothing real crazy in that world. And let's go to and see what Neon's doing. If it wants to start glowing anytime soon, it's still in the basement down here. Pull back a little bit more, and maybe it doesn't. I'm not sure. We'll look at it another few days and see. It's just kind of pulling back now and not looking that great, but maybe it'll try to bounce up. We'll look at Neo Node, but maybe it's not going to pop up there, and we'll take it off the list. And KVUE right there. That Tylenol maker was actually looking good. I would watch this tomorrow, guys. This one looks like it could be a good one right there for KVUE. So I would say keep that on your watch list in the morning because it does look good to try to run up. I did see that one. I meant to mention it earlier, and I completely forgot. And I'm actually making a different list and like organizing things. I'm probably going to do it on a separate list each day instead of trying to jot it all down on this list right here. And then I just can't even understand. There's just too many stock tickers on it. And you guys know, I mean, I post it out so you guys know what it looks like. But yeah, then I make all my notes on there and everything else. And it's just way too much. And I tried to make it a little more organized. But again, it's just too much. And so, yeah, I think I'm going to, for next week, I already started working on it. So I'm just going to make my own separate sheet there, not make my notes on this thing and make notes on a different sheet. Maybe just put like an asterisk or something next to them so I know to keep an eye, but I can't just be writing them all down and trying to organize and sort through them and make that. I'll just make different columns where I know that I want them at, and then boom, I'll just take an extra second or two and write them down where I want to. That way I can follow a few that I know are setting up, and we can keep a good eye on them to know when to time them out and then know which ones are really going to pop. And obviously, I do it especially for the night note, but the night note also helps myself and everybody else. So that's why I try to do it. And again, last night might have been, I had YYAI on there, but the rest, I had Rocket Mortgage too. I did like that. It dipped down early. But yeah, the rest of them really didn't pan out. They were just, no momentum plays really were running from the day before or anything like that. It was just like one of the market opens that you're just like, wow, this is not the best, but it did kind of pop up a little bit there. But anyway, KVUE, that looks good there tomorrow. And again, we're going to get this really organized so that we know exactly which ones we need to play and which ones are going to be setting up so we can time them out like that YYAI. And just do that on the daily and just keep turning them over like that. And then obviously trade them in the Discord. I mentioned Microsoft first thing in the morning, guys. This thing was a beast early on. This thing got running up there beautifully. Look at it right there at the open, had a little pullback, and then boom, ran right up there by 11 a.m. And it was a nice call for Microsoft, and it still doesn't look bad. I kind of feel like they're going to have news. I've been telling you guys that that's not the best look going in. It could have looked a little bit stronger. I'm not going to lie, but we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. And I kind of feel like, again, the market's going to pull back. So maybe Microsoft was ready to get popping and it might get beat down. We'll see tomorrow and see what that's up to, what that brings us. And there you are with that. But here we go. Let's keep on cruising. So KVUE looking pretty good. Open Door Technologies, look at it down there below the trend line, below the 50. And then we'll see. Once it's ready to curl back up, I'll let you guys know for that one. QMCO, and these guys are still dipping down here. That RGTI was down some more today. Look at that. We should just be shorting that down. And it's an IONQ right there. We should be playing that IONZ right here. Look at that thing up another 13%. And it looks like it wants to continue up, guys. So if you guys want to keep an eye on that IONZ right there, that could be a little momentum play for tomorrow. And that's a two-time short for IONQ. So again, you can play that way too if they have ETFs that go the opposite way, the bear ones. You can also play them. So that's why. And I'm also looking because there's so many ETFs, new ones on Laptop Travel. I meant to hit you up and Luis Rodriguez. I was just working on other things all morning and I thought about it. So I was going to make a new list of ETFs because I have a whole page that I used to use and had a ton of different ETFs on it. But there's so many new ones now and better ones in the last couple months. It's so crazy how fast these ETFs change. That's probably why some of them aren't exactly the best for like long term, but they're great ones to trade. And I mean, we could even do this, the SPY one. I never even like that's a two-time SPY one right there. Instead of the SPY at 667, you can play the SPY ETF right there. And then what is it? SPDN is the bear one, just one time. But look at that thing. And I mean, it doesn't look too bad there to try to curl up tomorrow. So that's what I see. And I go back and look at these because sometimes if the bear ones are really setting up, you know that they're going to be popping up there, and the actual stock itself is probably going to be dipping like Apple right there. So he gives you a good idea. And again, we're going to kind of really zero in. So I've been organizing things, working on a lot of different things as well, like that, just to make things a lot better. And obviously, make them a lot better in the Discord for everybody to be able to just zero in and boom, just go to town. So I think it's always there's always room to for improvement, and that's what we always try to do. And again, we're just trying to preserve the capital, trade a couple that are good, solid ones right now. Why this market's a little choppy, and then get right back to it. Because again, you catch these things at the bottom with a nice option. You've seen what AMD did real quick, and you do that a couple times real fast, and boom, it's like that's when it's beautiful. When it gets choppy or crazy like this, that's when you got to kind of just lay off of things. Maybe just trade the shares, the stock, the actual stocks, not the options, because they get a little rough, especially with time decay and things when they're jumping around like this. So yeah, we can that's and again, that's what we were talking about today in the end of the Discord, and as well. But yeah, you got to have that right mindset and make sure that you're doing things and allocating things the right way, especially at the right timing. And just think of it like in the if you're down in the casinos or whatever, and the blackjack table's hot, you go in a little more aggressive. And then when it gets cold, you don't. You kind of lay off a little bit and you do like the bare minimum just to get yourself through, and or you get up and walk away. And that's always not a bad idea too. If it's not, you're not seeing them perfectly, take a day off, and 2 days off. It's never the end of the world. The market's going to be there, I promise you, and your money's still going to be there. So it's better not to gamble and take risks that you don't think are going to work out for you. Again, it's quality, not quantity. So, and again, I know we kind of live trade there, but they're like quick swing trades, and we made it clear we're just doing smaller positions as well as we do it, but we're just kind of not having fun. We're trying to make money, but it's part of trading right here, and this is what it shows you. Like when the markets are choppy and rough, you can still navigate through them. It's just a little bit more difficult, and you have to be really you have to really pick out the ones that you really like there. So just some great trading examples as well going into this little choppiness. I won't even say rough because it's just choppiness. Let's just say Apple launches iPhone 17 in China with early sales up 14% in US and China. Slashes iPhone Air production after key bank survey shows weak demand, is designated a strategic market gatekeeper by UK regulators under new digital rules, and receives Loop Capital upgrade to buy on strong iPhone 17. Does anyone even know what I just read right there? Because I have no idea. I understood like up to here. And then after that, I don't know what the heck this was even talking about. It just like became a different. It looked like I was just reading something completely different until it said upgrade to buy strong on strong iPhone 17 to. I don't even know what that even said in the middle. I don't know. Again, my reading comprehend. It's laughable, guys. But if anyone else understood that, good for you guys. I have no idea. I just read something that I'm telling you. I just know Apple launched the iPhone, and the China and early sales were up 14% in the U.S. and China. That's all I got out of that. Anyway, so now you see how my my brain operates all the time. I can read a stock chart though. It's clear as day to me. It's pretty amazing. Here we go. Let's get into this. And that RGTA iPhone Air was a loser. You got your new iPhone and love it. What was the iPhone Air? I'm not even sure what that is. Was that the last phone? And the laptop Trevor said he knows what I read. I have no idea what I just read. Laptop Trevor. I'll try it again. We go back to the big caps and Mag 7. I'll read it again and see if I can make sense of it again. I have no idea. I understood it was China and it was up a little bit right there, but that's all I got out of it. But anyway, what was the iPhone Air? I'm not even sure what that even is. And it was obviously a phone. Was that the last phone that they had? I have no idea. Again, I need to go get a new iPhone. I was just waiting for them because I knew they were getting these new iPhones in and or releasing them or whatever. So I have to upgrade my iPhone, so I figured I'll get the new one, I guess. And so yeah, I'll have that one for a few years, I'm sure, because I try to hold on to them. I don't like to change the phone because you get so used to it, and then everything works for you. And then after you get a new phone, you got to kind of like get used to that phone and put everything in. It's just a pain. I know they like transfer all your apps and shit over and all that's in the cloud, but it's just like getting used to it all and setting it all back up. It's just a pain in the butt. So I just will stick with the same phone until it like basically doesn't work anymore, because again, they do that on purpose. They just make the memory. Like I should have plenty of memory, but you just can't even upgrade the update the apps and stuff like that. And once you get into that situation, your phone's just going to start slowing down, and one day it's just not going to work. I kind of deleted all the pictures off, took them all off and all that. So I have plenty of free space, but it's just the fact that again, it's just outdated. It's an older phone, and that's a wrap. You can't use them for that long. But anyway, I get my money's worth out of them, I guess. But I would use the same phone for like a long time, just because you're used to it and it works. But then again, the camera's like so updated. Like this one, you see people take pictures of the new ones on new ones, and it's like, whoa, that camera's crazy good. And it's not like any iPhone camera is really bad, but they do get way better as well. And let's see, iPhone Air was a basic version of the new iPhone 17, like buying a week a while ago Toyota, and the iPhone 17 Air didn't have the features of the top of the line iPhone 17's offerings they have. Okay, so it was just like a stripped down model was the iPhone Air. And so yeah, I don't know, if you're gonna buy the phone, you might as well splurge and spend the extra couple $100 or whatever it is. What is it going to be, an extra $100, $200, and you're going to get the better model and be able to get everything? I mean, you're already buying an iPhone, so it's whatever at that point, I feel like. Anyway, here we go. Let's look at these bad boys and see, talking about everything tonight. And again, we had a little technical difficulties, and we just work right through that too. But QBT coming down some more. And how about that QBTS? And that was a big dipper right there. We were saying that. Why aren't we shorting these bad boys down? I have no idea. Or buying puts on them to come down. That QMCO we already looked at. And your QTUM right there finally came out of the top, and it's not going back up. It is pulling back down. So they are running. We already talked about doing the IONZ right there, and we should have been all over that Z space. So look at this thing. This thing actually not looking bad. I'm telling you, this thing's going to get, look at it. It's curling into this channel, guys. And Z space might be one that we actually want to take a look at. I'm not sure why, but for some reason it wants to do something right there. And your RCAT's dipping down. So kind of impressive if that Z space goes flying, and it almost looks like it's going to. So we should keep an eye on that. And that is your computer hardware and quantum ones. And again, it's no surprise that they're pulling back. I don't know why people are really surprised about this, or JNUG and even gold and stuff. I mean, look at them. They ran up like astronomically. And I was saying this earlier. Anytime, I said it before, anytime you're in the top 1, 2, 3 times and it comes down like that, you damn straight know that fourth time it's a miracle if it stays in there that fourth time. You rarely see it happen. You see it happen every once in a while. But again, it's almost like you look at the chart and go, wow, that's impressive right there. I mean, as soon as I see it, I'm always like, whoa, that's a pretty damn good run. What the hell did I have going? And look, I could just keep going back, guys. And you can go back to the most bullish times that you won. And it's rare. I mean, look, 1, 2 out. And look at this. I mean, they don't want to be up there that long. And when they do, it's something that you're like, wow, that's pretty impressive. And I mean, these are just like iceberg tips right there. You're talking, and that's JNUG we're going through, and yeah, so that's your gold right there. And then all of a sudden, and back here, you saw it run up there. But yeah, I mean, you see it like the way it looks now, and again, you just don't see things like that. You can tell that's you get to that chart, you go, whoa, something crazy was going on at that time. And yeah, gold was running through the roof, and so were some of the minerals and other things. And don't get me wrong, they're going to pull back and set up and run up again, but you have to be locking in them profits when they're running up like that. And that's why we always talk about it. But there you go with them. And UNH right here was pulling back a little bit, but Oscar looking pretty good even with that pullback. It looked almost like a healthy pullback right there. They do have earnings coming up. It is getting kind of bullish right there. I was looking at this thing on that pullback, OSCR. We'll see. Maybe it's going to hit the 50. It looked like it pulled back a little more in the after hours or at the end of the day. It was kind of hanging above the 20 and not looking so bad. So we'll see what it wants. You can see right there. Look, it did pull back. You can in the after hours right there. That's exactly what I was looking at. Yeah, it didn't look too bad. It was in the top right there, but didn't look terrible. So I'll look at Oscar in the morning, and there you are with that one. And let's look at the Trump Bitcoin companies and all these guys. But look at this thing just coming down, and now you guys see why I said we'll just be patient and let them just pull back for as long as they want to until they get perfect, guys. Like almost how YYAI was. We'll wait for these guys to do the exact same thing. And because you have to with these, they'll be super manipulated and all crazy, but we're definitely keeping them on our list and not getting rid of them. That NCPL, remember that we were saying looked pretty good. Look at it, was running up there, and it still looks pretty good right there. So that's the one. And people were talking about that PSQH could possibly run. It just didn't look good to me. It did run up a little bit. Don't get me wrong. It might be looking a little bit better. So maybe it is trying to get pumped up there today. So it was down. I know it was down early. It started to run up there, and I really wasn't paying much attention to it. So it did get set up a little bit better right there for PSQH. So maybe we will be keeping an eye on that because that does look like it's going to get set up. So I'd say we might have to keep an eye on PSQH. Again, it didn't look that great this morning, but I would say it looks a little better, and that NCPL looked good, but yeah, your ABTC and PEW, not so great. OCGN dipping down a little bit right there. Could have some good pullback down to the 50, so we'll just watch that. And BMNR right here is Bitmine, and that did pull back. And now I think that you're just going to have to wait for it to get set up with your trend line coming down. And obviously, we'll go through our crypto and see what's going on with that. SBET right here pulling back a little bit, and that's different than the bet meme coin that we got launched this evening by the Flawless Whale right there. And that one is, I mean, that one's looking a little bit better right there. It's over like, what is that market cap? 574,000 right there. So yeah, it's definitely not looking too bad. Running up right now. So again, if you're in the meme coins, I posted it, and I finally posted the right CA address right there, whatever it's called. So there you are. But yeah, that thing's looking pretty sweet right there, running up. I'm looking at the chart on the deck screener. But anyway, that's a regular bet on Sol. This is SBET. This is an Ethereum treasury. And there you are with that. Let's keep on cruising right through, and UPXI coming down a little bit more right there. So we'll have to wait for this. And now this one has either got to pop back up or that one's going to be held down a little bit. So that's going to be, I would say, Solana and crypto will dictate what that's going to do. So we'll be looking at that and see what's going on. And then that ORBS a little more pullback there. So these guys are pulling back. CRM, that did not want to keep bouncing up yesterday. I was actually surprised. It looks like healthy pullback right there. So we will keep an eye on that tomorrow just to watch what it wants to do right there, because CRM could try to bounce. That BBWI was down a little bit, and that's your Bath and Body Works. And like I said, nothing really kept the momentum. It was jumping around right there, but there wasn't a whole lot trying to hold the momentum. CMG also dipped down, and this looks like it's like a dip and rip situation. So keep an eye on that one right there. CMG, good old Chipotle. That's looking pretty good. And of course, our YYAI right here did pop up there. It pulled back a little bit in the after hours, obviously, after these run up one day. It's generally a good idea to take your profits. I'm not going to lie, but it did pop up. It doesn't look terrible for tomorrow. So we'll obviously look at it in the morning and see what YYAI can do. But it was definitely a good one today. Doge Mama 9, Laptop Travel, and some others. So there you go, over 100% right there when the market's not really doing a whole lot. EPWK is looking pretty good as well. And remember, we were checking this out. I would look at this one tomorrow, guys. So keep your eye on this EPWK. I think that one could be a good one right there. And that one's another one, Doge Mama 9, Laptop Travel, and everybody else in the morning that we're going to want to keep an eye on. So maybe some of these penny stocks will get rotated in, and they'll be popping up as well. And we'll keep an eye on them. I was looking for some tonight. There wasn't a whole lot, I'm not going to lie. So I'll definitely be scanning the markets, you know that, to be keeping an eye on them. KHC right here, good old Kraft Heinz, not looking bad right there. Their earnings are coming up. What was it, next week, the 29th right there. And that does not look bad. I'm not sure when did they split the company up. I have no idea. Um, Today they announced it looks like 3 new members of its board of directors. They should hire me. I would be great. I would be like, yo, let's do this. But no, can you imagine me on the board of directors of a company like this? They would be like, what is this guy, insane? I'd be like, look, the stock chart's got to do this. Here we go. Let's rock and roll. And they would think I was nuts. But anyway, I would know what I'm talking about. That's for sure. How about this AREB, this American Rebel Holdings? This one's going to get cruising, guys. I have it down there. We'll just look at it now, obviously. But this bad boy right here is definitely one to keep an eye on for tomorrow morning. AREB. It was getting set up today. It was obviously running up, as you can see, and it still looks pretty good right there. So yeah, keep an eye on this. You might have a little pullback first thing in the morning as it opens up at 4, but we'll definitely be watching that AREB. And that EPWK is another one, so watch that. And then that Kraft Heinz, like I said, they had added 3 new board members right there, and we'll see what's going on with good old Kraft Heinz. And let's see, I don't even know what a WeGo is either. You had to look it up. What is it, Deep Soul Diving? Post a picture of it. I have no idea. When Laptop Travel said that, I just read it, and I had no idea what it was. I was actually going to say, I don't know what a WeGo is, but I just figured I'd keep continuing on. And where did it? I forget where he even wrote that at. Where was that? Holy cow, I don't even know where that was. But yeah, I wasn't even sure what that was either. And I'm trying to remember what it was even referenced to because I can't even remember. What the heck? I can't find it. Where is that thing? I'm not even sure. Oh, the iPhone, right? What did he say was a WeGo? I forget what the heck what it was. A Toyota WeGo. Yeah, what is that? I don't even know what a Toyota WeGo is. I don't think I've ever heard of that before in my life, Laptop Travel. I thought I was the only one, so that's why I didn't even say. I was like, does anyone else know what that is? But I just kept on cruising along there. And so, yeah, it's a tiny Toyota. I don't think they sell them here. Oh, are they like little tiny like van ones, or are they like little tiny car ones maybe? I'll have to look it up, a Toyota WeGo. Yeah, I wasn't even sure either. So you weren't the only one, Deep Soul Diving. I had no idea. But then again, Laptop Travel like travels the world, so he sees all this stuff. If we don't see them in America, we're just like, I don't know what that is. Most of the things, unless you've traveled out. I mean, I've traveled out of the country, obviously, but yeah, I'm not sure if I would be like, oh yeah, that's a Toyota WeGo. I'm not sure I ever heard that before, to be honest with you. But anyway, let's get back to it and see what Nix is up to. It's pulling back a little bit today. I know that's one that Stock Authority was looking at. We'll see what that. It looked like it was trying to get set up. Doge Mama 9 said she's never heard of a WeGo. Here we go. I got to pop it up now. I'm really interested. Toyota. I can't even spell it. WeGo. Here we go. There we are. And let's see what an image looks like. One of these things? One of them things? That's a WeGo? I've seen them before. I thought it was like one of them European like tiny cars. We have them around here. It looks like the Yaris, you said. Yeah, I've seen these little things before. So all right, that's what they are right there, the Toyota WeGo. Yeah, I wasn't really familiar with it. Are they fairly I mean, I've seen them around, but yeah, it looks like a little roller skate almost. But anyway, I was actually picturing like them real tiny cars or like one of them like tiny trucks that you get. Toyota little pickup truck. Let's see. I was picturing like this. Let me see if we see one. I don't even see one of them things, but if you know like them little European ones, yeah, I don't even see one on here. But anyway, that's what I was picturing. I don't even see one on there. But that's a WeGo for everybody else because I didn't even know that either. And so there you go, Michael Anthony. You go buy yourself a Toyota WeGo right there. You can be cruising around in style and probably park anywhere you want. And so anyway, that Nix just kind of hanging out. LDI looking really good for tomorrow. We were talking about this today, and I've been talking about it the last few days, saying this is getting set up. I can see that being a popper. So keep your eye on LDI right there, Mr. Michael Anthony, for tomorrow. That is looking pretty nice. And let's see what else is next right here. It's like the smart car. Yeah, that's what it looks like. One of them little smart cars. You're absolutely right. And so, yeah, it's tiny. and it would fit. They would be great to drive around in the city. I would say if you live in a city, like if you lived in Philadelphia, that's like the car to have. And Laptop Travel just posted one. There you go, to the new WeGo right there. Yeah, that's the car to have if you live in the city. That's for sure. You can definitely park them in some spots that you usually can't get into like regular cars with. Other than that, I'm not so sure if I would be cruising around in a WeGo, but you don't think anyone over 5'10" fits in a smart car? I always think that too, but you'd be surprised. Like you get in, and I guess they kind of have room. I don't know. I guess it's how you adjust the seat. I can barely fit in my wife's Mercedes. Like I have to make the seat all the way down, and it's like kind of crazy. I don't like. I just don't like them little cars anyway because I don't really fit, and I'm always hitting my head. And you guys know I don't want to be hitting my head on anything, so I try to avoid it. I don't even like I said, I do not like to drive my wife's car. It drives me crazy if I have to. It's just all that new stuff. It just drives me nuts. So anyway, she loved it today though. She was like, "Yeah, them new tires were so nice." And I was like, "Well, wait until we put the back ones on." And I forgot to call the one axle in the front was broke, so we got to replace the front axle. And so yeah, I have to call. I forgot to call the dealership because my buddy said that might be an expensive part. And so yeah, we got to find out about the axle, and he said he'll fix that too. So yeah, my buddy's the man. He took off the tire. The minute he took it off, he didn't even look. He goes, "Oh, something's broken there." He's like, I was like, "How the hell can you tell?" He goes, "Because I can tell by the tire how dirty it is. Shouldn't be that dirty." And he just looked over. He goes, "Yeah, it's the axle right there." He's like, "It's spitting out some oil." He's like, "We're gonna have to get that one fixed." He's like, "It could drive, but we definitely have to fix it." So yeah, I gotta fix that as well. Anyway, well, he'll fix it. I ain't fixing it. And like I said, he's a master at that stuff. He'll take it up to his shop and just do it in a couple, like in less than an hour, probably. Anyway, WeGo's not for the person who wants quality. That's why you related it to the Apple Airphone. That is a good one right there. ASTS, holy cow. It is way down there, Michael Anthony, is it not? We were talking about SenesTech still dipping down. Again, I think we're going to have to wait for these trend lines to come down. So maybe we'll see it try to bounce up. I think if it bounces up here, it's more or less just bouncing around, and you're waiting for these things to really get set up. So it could take a week or so, and that's why I was saying maybe it's the first week of November. But when it happens, these things are going to get cruising, and you can see it. Rocket RKT. We were liking this, guys, and I still like this thing. RKT. It looks like it does want to rocket up a little bit. How much it's going to run right there is beyond me, but it will get rocketing up a little bit. And then speaking of beyond, there you go. Is Beyond Meat. We already did a discussion on this. And obviously, we were talking about that and AIRE. So we don't really have to recap it. We discussed it a few times, and they're just pulling back now. So there you go. And you gather it's the budget model for other countries. That's what it looks like right there. And yeah, ASTS, it got beat up. It's been getting beat up down here. And it does. And again, these things were so overextended way up there. And now they're just pulling back, and they could pull back a little bit more. As you can see, they're crossing through. They can come down to that 50 right there. That's for sure. As you can see it right there in the 56s. So ASTS could continue to dip down there, Michael Anthony, as well. And let's take a look at Cigna. It wasn't too bad right here. And again, it's set up. It just did not like want to get popping today, but I would keep an eye on Cigna. It's in a pretty good spot right there. So I would put a little mark on Cigna and see if it does want to get set up again tomorrow. It very well possibly could. Lulu right here was dipping down a little bit, and that looks like a little healthy pullback, guys. So I would keep an eye on this Lulu and even these other ones that are apparel ones like Nike was up today, not looking bad. It's hitting that 20. And a couple other ones we were looking at, but there you go. Nike, we were talking about it up a percent right there. Doesn't look bad to try to get into that channel. And we'll obviously look at Nike in a little bit again, but there you go with that one. And let's see what TONX was kind of disappointing today. I'm not going to lie. I didn't see that dip coming. Hopefully that's a dip and rip look because that looks like it wanted to pop up right there. And then all of a sudden it did pull back. Obviously, crypto is not beautiful, but that better be a dip and rip look because it looked like it wanted to get popping there. And then it did. And I don't mind a dip and rip right there, but it better get ripping. because it looked like it wanted to be popping right there, and something's not going on, and something's not right if not. So that is what's going on there, and you can just tell by the charts what's supposed to happen. ASST is pulling back some more. I've just been keeping my eye on this. I mean, look at that thing curling up. You would have thought it would have been curling up with the MACD there, and for whatever reason, Strive just isn't doing it. But we might want to keep an eye on Strive in the morning. I'm going to jot it down right here for ASST. I mean, if I could spell. But yeah, ASST, we'll definitely be looking at that guy in the morning to see if it wants to get set up. And AEO wasn't too bad today, and that's that American Eagle. American Eagle Outfitters. You said ASST. No. Yeah, I mean, it is way down there. Again, I like them when they're all beaten down like this at the bottom, trying to curl up. So that's where I particularly look at stocks. You guys know that. And that's why I check that out. And let's see what AEO, like I said, American Eagle Outfitters, not looking bad right there, curling up. I'm not so sure it gets through. I will have to look at it tomorrow. It looked like it was a better situation yesterday, and it wanted to pop up. And again, tomorrow it could easily just curl up. We'll have to see what the market looks like for it. And that is AEO. And HD, good old Home Depot, didn't want to keep its momentum. I still think it's setting up, though. Doesn't look bad. It just, they're taking their time a little bit in this choppy market. So yeah, when the day that you think it's going to pop, it pulls back. And then the next day it pops up there, or 2 days later. We've been seeing it a lot, guys. So we just got to be patient and stick with the ones that we know are going to be set up and going, and then stick with them for a couple days. I think that's the way to do it. And that'll be the quality ones instead of trying to chase crazy ones. We can try to play a few of them momentum runners or anything popping up on the internet or whatever. But again, small positions and just play them as they're popping up there and make sure you're locking in profits. And Lowe's looks like the same as Home Depot. Again, a little healthy pullback, nothing crazy. Adobe right here had a little healthy pullback as well. And that one almost looks pretty good. So I could see these guys looking pretty decent tomorrow for Home Depot, Lowe's, and Adobe right there. All of them guys look pretty decent. And let's see. Remember this RTX? We talked about it. It was a aerospace and defense. They were having their earnings coming up. We were looking at it the other day, and this thing went pretty nutty. And we were looking at it back here, right there, probably Sunday night. And yeah, boom, that one popped up. And when were the earnings? We were looking at it right before that. So, yep, on the 20th, whenever that was. And that was Monday. So, yeah, Monday night, we were looking at it, possibly even Sunday night. And that thing ran really nice. So, yeah, we got to stick with them nice ones. IVF, we were talking about it earlier, and it doesn't look too bad. Possibly wants to curl up there. We'll look at it tomorrow if it can roll off that MACD. And we were talking about how bad that company screwed up. That's for sure. And ONDS right here was trying to close on the 50. It's just below it right there. So it's going to be an interesting one. Looks like it could pull back a little bit more. One that you could see that 20 coming down, and it's one that Ben and I were talking about. And again, I wasn't really that hopped up on it, but I was wondering if it could bounce off of the 50. That's why I threw it on there, just to keep an eye on it. And here is Doge Mama 9, your EONR. That was a beauty today. And like I said, I meant to tag you on that. And that one does look like it might continue up tomorrow. And that's an oil and gas one. So that was pretty right there. Good one for good call right there. Cake right here, Cheesecake Factory, looking pretty good too, guys. So you might want to continue to look at good old cake and have a slice of that tomorrow if it still looks yummy. So maybe pulling back in the after hours. Let me see. It didn't look too bad to me. Yeah, we'll check out cake. That could be a decent one right there for CAKE. And that is how you spell cake, guys. For those of you that don't know how to spell cake, I know how to spell it because it's right there in front of me. CAKE, Cheesecake Factory. How about that? Anyway, AREB, I'm telling you, keep an eye on this in the morning. It looks really good right there. And what is MRM? Metadirium Health Technologies. That's not looking too bad to try to set up right there. I have to look at that a little bit tomorrow. MRM, I just happened to look over and seen that it is trying to pop up off of that 20. Has a weird look if it wants to roll off that MACD. And that UAMY right here, Luis Rodriguez was talking about this. And look, guys, you had a couple pop-ups in the top. You may get cruising again up there, and then I would say possibly isn't going to run but it hit this resistance up here. Maybe it tries to get back up there again. You can see it trying to roll off that MACD. It wasn't looking bad today for your UAMY. And again, United States Anatomy Corporation. So we'll see what's up with that. And a bull case theory right there. I'm not sure what they have going on, to be completely honest with you, but it's not looking too bad right there for UAMY. So that is one that Luis Rodriguez had liked. And then this BTGD, you're staked 100% Bitcoin and 100% gold. It was kind of pulling back a little bit there, as they both were kind of pulling back today. So, yeah, I guess if they're both pulling back, it's really not good. Like I talked about that yin and the yang, like what happens when Bitcoin flies and gold wants to dip down. These Solana ETFs, they're pulling back some more, so just let them do their thing. There's that stake. They're all down, so we don't really have to waste our time with that. And let's see, I had a couple other ones. I can't even read what I wrote. I think it says TSN. Yeah, Tyson Foods. This was looking pretty good right there. Maybe it pulled back in the after hours. Let me take a better look at it. TSN. And not bad. I mean, it's hitting the 20 right there. We'll see tomorrow. It doesn't look bad for Tyson Foods, and that does look like it could run up. Remember Marriott? I think we were a little early on that, guys, because we were liking it down here, and it kept pulling back and running around, and now it's up, obviously. But Marriott could continue to run. That looks pretty good right there for lodging. Some of these lodging ones weren't too bad. AT and AT right there looking pretty good. That's not bad. CHH. And that one's trying to run up a little bit. That looks pretty good. GHG. And H has run up there. Hilton was running up today. I did see that one. IHG, not bad right there. That's pretty good. Marriott spiking up. Saunders, isn't that Saunders? Yeah, that's Saunders. That was already up. UOKA, this is that UK one that likes to run around. And WH is Wyndham, and that spiked up. So, yeah, some of the lodging ones not looking too bad right there. So there you go with a little rundown on them guys. And WM is Waste Management, and this one wasn't looking too bad, actually. And I believe they have earnings coming up on the 27th right there, and it's crawling up. So you know that everybody has a lot of trash, and trash is a gold mine. So there you go. It's crawling up. And I would say keep your eyes on WM tomorrow, Laptop Travel, and everyone else in the morning, because that is looking pretty good right there. I must say, it looks like it wants to run up there. So caught my attention on the scanner. And there you go with them. Here we go. We'll go to our Jolie's Jams, our Laptop Travel list. And that LVS was looking good. Remember, we looked at these last night. As a matter of fact, that Las Vegas Sands, remember I was saying, it looked pretty good. I remember specifically saying that one, and we went through the casinos and resorts, and I remember it was setting up right there. We had gone through them all. Bally's ran up. What other ones? That was kind of jumping around right there, but yeah, I was looking at them earlier. HGV, that Hilton was running up. Remember, I said Hilton was running up. I knew it was somewhere. I forget which one it was. I think there's a couple different Hilton companies. There's a casino and then I guess they have the hotels or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, VAC, that other one, Marriott right there. Marriott Vacations right there. So you got two for Marriott, I guess. But yeah, there you go. And like I said, they were trying to run up there. We were talking about them last night, and that is that Marriott. So yeah, you got two Marriott, different ones, Marriott Vacations and Marriott. And like I said, I knew a Hilton was up today because I did see that one. And there you go with them. Let's go ahead and see what our rhythm's doing as it's pulling back, and we'll see it hit that trend line right there. How about Blink charging right here? It's not, I don't think it's bottomed out, just kind of dipping down right there. Sezzle doing the same thing, kind of pulling back. And that Sterling didn't pop up. I did see it. Remember, we were saying, watch. Now let's keep an eye on it, and we'll watch for this thing. It could be dipping down some more, but it does like to pop up there for that STRL. So we definitely have to keep an eye on that. And how about Rivian right here? I think Rivian could be getting set up, guys. It may not crawl through just yet, but I do think it's getting set up maybe after its earnings right there, November 4th. So keep an eye on that. And Symbotic was pulling back, so a lot of them had already run up and they're pulling back. So that is our Joe Lee jams right there. And let's look at our laptop travel list and AME. I looked at some, again, the market was just kind of, it's not perfect. Let's put it that way. I did want to go through everything and look at everything, go over some stuff with you guys. Obviously, we're having some technical difficulties, but anyway, we got that all fixed. And yeah, I would say there's not a whole lot that looks perfect. Let's put it that way. But there are some opportunities that we can get into, and we went through some of them like that KVUE, AREB, and a couple other ones at Rocket Mortgage. So yeah, there's a few right there. So we'll be keeping an eye on them. And let's go ahead and check out this laptop travel list. There's always a couple good ones on here. I did not look at them. And CMND kind of pulling back a little. Almost looks like a little healthy pullback right there today. Let me see that one. CMND. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of healthy pullback. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, so yeah, I'll keep an eye on that. I'll look at that in the morning. GENK, I know we were looking at this recently, and it was a little pullback right there. It's still in that channel and just kind of bouncing around. And that's what the market's basically doing. GRAN, that looks pretty good for tomorrow, guys. So you might want to keep an eye on GRAN. Let me take a better look over here and see what it looks like. GRAN. And yeah, that's a fairly new one too. And it just kind of ran itself down. It almost looks like it's going to run itself up now. That could go into a bullish channel right there. And it's a capital market in Hong Kong, GRAN. So there you go with that. JRSH is Jerish Holdings, and that's an apparel manufacturer in the U.S. And it just looks like it ran up yesterday, a little bit of pullback right there today. And we'll see what it's doing right here. Yeah, I mean, that one could try to curl up tomorrow. We'd have to look at it. JXG right there is JX Lux Venture. It's getting set up. I'm just not sure. It's ready tomorrow. And let's see. It is, let's see right there. Yeah, it's getting set up. Like I said, that 20 and 50 will meet up. I think it's just got a little bounce around left in it right there. And let's see what's going on with LBGJ. And that's Libang International Corp. What is that up to? It's got to be, I was going to say a Japanese or China one. It's a China one right there. And that thing looks like it might be getting set up, especially machinery one. LBGJ. Yeah, look at that 20. I'll keep an eye on that in the morning, guys. Let's watch that one. And QuantumScape was kind of pulling back. What did it end up doing? It ran up in the after hours. I did see it pulling back today. Good old QS. That had a nice dip down. It could continue to dip. I'll look at it tomorrow. It could continue to dip down. That QSI right here, that Quantum Sci Incorporated, had that crazy look. I saw it pull it back a little bit. We might get a bounce off of the MACD there, laptop travel. If we do, we'll have to play it back up on a roll off. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's look at that in the morning just to see if it is going to roll off there. It's just an interesting one with the other quantum ones pulling back. And TBHC. Let's see. And honestly, I'm going to write down that Z space over there. Look at that in the morning. And TBHC is a home improvement retail. And that thing looks pretty good right there. That could get running. TBHC. Yeah, that one could get through that MACD right there tomorrow. Definitely one to keep an eye on right there. And TLF. Let's see what Tandy Leather. You were talking about this. It's been in that channel right there. It did jump up a little bit today, and that thing is looking pretty good, guys. I would say out of them all, that one has a pretty good opportunity tomorrow for TLF. So that is getting set up for that Tandy Leather Factory. So they must have some good leather going on over there, because that thing does look like it wants to bounce off that trend line and get cruising up a little bit. Obviously, it'll run up and then pull back, but you'll catch the run up on it for sure. And that is TLF. So there you go with our laptop travel list. Thank you very much for them. Some good ones on there. GRAN, LBGJ, and that TBHC and TLF, and a couple other ones right there. So keep an eye out on for them. And let's go ahead and look at our SPY Mag 7 big caps and all them guys real quick. See what's going on. And then we'll go through Michael Anthony and see what you guys want to look at. And we looked at that Las Vegas Sands, like I said. That one looked good last night. It jumped up on its earnings in the after hours there. We were looking at it today in the Discord. And our SPY did close down. And again, I mean, I did say it wasn't getting through that MACD today. We knew it wasn't getting through. And I thought it was going to have some pullback. I made it clear in the night note. I made it clear on the morning shows and everything else. So it's not like we weren't expecting it. We should have just played the puts on it, is what we probably should have done. And again, that's what we got to really focus on going forward, is the best opportunity, whether it wants to go up or down. We can run it either which way if you know exactly what it wants to do, and then even read the tops and the bottoms, which we've been doing pretty well with. So we will continue to get better and better each day, and that's why there's always room for improvement. I don't ever think that you're the best at anything. There's always someone better, for one, and then you can always be better at everything that you do. So that's why I get up and do this stuff all the time and love it, and put the time in, because there's so much improvement that you can have even after 25 years, guys, and still making improvements. And again, I try to have you guys avoid all the mistakes that I've made throughout the long time and the many years, and it's perfectly fine. I'd rather you guys not make them, believe me, because they're dumb mistakes that you'll make over and over and over until somebody just beats it into your head that you need to lock in profits, especially when you're seeing these setups and these calls from the bottom and they're running up. You just have to lock in profits every single time. You can't expect anything or everything to ever do what BNYD does, or any of these big poppers like this that just get that big push and that pump on social media. And then at the end of the day, they end up being called like meme stocks. And that's essentially what they are. And that's why we kind of like meme coins, because they can get cruising as well and get real crazy. And again, it's a big risk and a reward, but the risk is the downside of it is pretty big potential too. So that's why you got to play these things pretty carefully, obviously. And again, that's, you know, we've seen the setup down here, so we should have just played it based off the setup, not based off the pump on social media. That should be a bonus to us. So again, we'll make little corrections and make it even better going forward, as we try to all the time. And anyway, here we go. And that was we were looking at Apple right there, and that was down. Looks like it could be pulling back. Some Amazon was pulling back a little bit. Still looks like it could. Google had some pretty good news, and I'm not sure exactly what they're doing right there, but they did have some pretty good news. Let's see. It was jumping up a little bit today. And look at it. It looks like it's going to be curling down right there. I think Google is coming down as well. It looks like the market's coming down there tomorrow some more, is what it looks like to me. Meta right here is in that channel, and that could be pulling back as well. And let's see our Microsoft. Like I said, even Microsoft might get beat on this. It's setting up perfectly, and I think the market might hurt it unless it tries to just jump right through there in the morning. You can see it looks pretty good, and then they might drop some big PR or something, and maybe it can run right through that 541 or even up there, and that would be pretty right there. So we'll see what Microsoft can do. But again, keep your eye on that. I was talking about this morning, it ran up. Nvidia pulling back, looks like it is going to pull back a little bit more. And Tesla had their earnings, and it came way down. And remember, I was saying on there, I just looking at the chart, and Ben asked me, I said, well, based off the chart, it looks like it's going to be pulling back. And then I would just factor in, I don't look at any of the numbers or anything else or anything but the chart. But if I had to factor anything in based off the chart, what I see is they're going to miss their earnings because they're not selling as much, EVs and their Tesla side. And now we know that information ahead of time as well. But you can kind of see it was kind of not about to happen. So, again, I base it all off of the charts, that's for sure. And yeah, Tesla, what is it? Tesla posts record Q3 2020 revenue of 28.1 billion and record vehicle deliveries, but misses profit estimates. With shares falling after hours, CEO Musk announces plans to expand robo-taxi service to 8 to 10 metro areas and remove safety drivers in Austin by year end, while company faces scrutiny over 1 trillion pay package, governance issues, and recalls nearly 13,000 U.S. vehicles for battery defects. So that's all going on in the Tesla earnings. Tesla earnings was a miss in the news right there. And yeah, I just read what happened. But again, they can miss their earnings. It can go up. Tesla goes by its own like drum, and it beats by its own drum. Of course, it does whatever it wants to do, but it didn't look good this afternoon. And I was saying, I just didn't see it happening, and I just didn't think that they were. I didn't think that they were hitting revenues like that, record vehicle deliveries. But then again, Musk just sold all them SUV ones. What the heck are they even called? I forget. Cybertrucks to like XAI and to and SpaceX or something like that. So he does things that he needs to do to make a company work, and we all know you're not betting against Elon, that's for sure. But again, it didn't look good going into the earnings today, and I was talking about that this afternoon. So if you were on there in the Discord, I was saying that AMC still hanging out down there. GameStop not looking it wasn't looking, it was spiked up there today. Let me see where that went. Yeah, I was gonna say I saw it spike up. I actually didn't see it come all the way down, to be honest with you, but I guess it did come down. Let me see what they want to do right here with GameStop. It was running, it looked like it was trying to get moving off of that line, and it does look like it's pulling back. So maybe we'll have it at that 2204 in the bottom 22s would be pretty good for GameStop. So we'll definitely look for that. And yeah, that 20's coming down, so you'll have a little pullback left on it. So give that a little setup period. Chewy right here has been pulling back, but Unity was looking good and that had pulled back. But look at this thing, guys. This almost looks like it's ready to go. It almost has that look like it bottomed out and wants to get turned around for Unity. So we will keep an eye on you tomorrow. It is getting set up. I'm not exactly sure if it's ready there, but it is getting set up. So we'll be keeping an eye on it. Netflix came way down off of their earnings as well. We were watching that, and that came $124 right there. Holy cow, that was a big dip. Should have been shorting Netflix, huh? Holy mackerel, that one dipped down there. Wow. I did see, we were watching it happen. So where was it at? Where did it even pull back at? It was just like down the whole day. I swear it pulled back at some point and we were watching it happen. I'm not sure what is even going on right there. But anyway, I know it was pulling back there. That's for sure. That's the 3-minute chart. And that's how it opened up. It came down, and it just had been pulling back. And I do think it's going to go down a little bit more right there for Netflix. So there you go with that one. And let's look at our semiconductors, AVGO. Let me pop on this. And a little bit of pullback. Remember, we were talking about that. So, yeah, I think you're going to see it happen. MU as well. And a lot of these guys, I think you could see a little bit of pullback, and then they get set back up. TSM coming down right there. SMCI pulling back as well. And AMD's also pulled back big time. Maybe that's one to short down right there. AMD tomorrow. I don't know what they have going wrong, but it isn't looking bad to short down. Remember, QCOM was the only one looking pretty good right there, and look which one is popping up. QCOM. So, and Snow wasn't looking bad. What was it doing? That even pulled back pretty well and looks like it could come down. So yeah, QCOM probably the only one that is a little bit decent right there. And PayPal right here had been pulling back a little bit. It was trying to get set up. We'll have to look at it. And Intel had pulled back some. We were looking at that today. They have earnings tomorrow for Intel, and that looks like it's pulling back right there. So there you go at INTC and our Dell. Let me see what Dell's doing if I type it in. Look at Dell trying to keep it. So I still don't think Dell's going to make it up either. So that could be pulling back a little bit as well. And IBM right here spiked up early, but then it was pulling back. And let's see, there you go. It was spiked up early and most of the day right there, IBM, and then took a huge pullback right there. And did they have earnings? Yeah, they had earnings as well. And I'm not sure what happened. It looks like their EPS gap, they reported that and estimated was up, so they missed it somewhere. I'm not exactly sure, but that's what happened to IBM, and that wasn't crawling through the MACD, and that's pulled back there. So there you go, guys. Some of these are missing earnings, I think, and that's never a good look. Palantir was pulling back. Remember what we said, watch for them dips, and there you go. Sophie even pulling back as well, and Mara and Riot, they were pulling back there too. I did see them, and CleanSpark also pulling back. So that one's going way down for CLSK, and Strategy pulled back pretty big. And again, we have to look at our look at our crypto real quick and see. But yeah, they are pulling back. Robinhood right there pulling back a little bit. Coinbase as well, big pullback, and Webull pull back. So I'm just going to kind of wait, see when that wants to be bottomed out, and grab a bunch of options right there. It's going to level down. So obviously we'll wait up and get some as they bottom out there. And space right here, a little bit of pullback to the 50. So all of them coming back down. Boeing was trying to set up. That has a little bit of pullback as well. And your DJT there, Michael Anthony, is pulling back. And then you might see that one where at down here at like the low 15s possibly. So keep an eye on that for some more pullback. Nike wasn't looking bad. Remember, we were talking about Nike, and maybe that'll keep going up. It's hitting that 20 right there. We'll have to take a look at it in the morning. McDonald's right here. Oh, what were they up to? I thought it was up today. I didn't want to say it was up and it had been down, but yeah, I thought it had popped up there. And look at McDonald's, another one we had been liking there, and it is running up, and it does look pretty good, I must say, for MCD. So you might want to keep an eye on that one. MCD right there. Good old McDonald's looking good in this market. And Disney right here did pull back. And honestly, we'll see. It doesn't look too bad, I must say. It looks like it's trying to get set up. We'll see how Disney holds up right there. Oxy was running up, and I think Oxy might be a decent one right there to keep an eye on. So keep an eye on Oxy. And ExxonMobil was also running up pretty big. So you might want to keep an eye on Oxy and ExxonMobil. And obviously, they are your oil and gas ones right there. And your DXYZ pulling back some more. And like I said, maybe we'll catch it down here at the trend line in the 20s right there. So there you go. That is what is going on. And let me see what you guys are looking at over here. And let's see. Let's see that YYAI. We were all over that one, and we looked at our VIX and all that good stuff. And Luis Rodriguez had a couple good ones over here. We did look at that AREB. Keep an eye on that in the morning. ARMP is Armada Pharmaceutical. Look at that bad boy. Holy cow, that was jumping up pretty big right there today. I did not even see that one, but that one's pretty wild. You can watch for that to have some momentum tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure if it will, but it was running up there pretty big, I must say. So, yeah, I'll look at that tomorrow and see what's up with it. AVY right there, Avery Denson Corp, packaging and containers. That thing ran up pretty big, and it might keep its momentum. Keep an eye on that. DZZ, DB, gold double short. Wow, well, yeah, that must be a good one right there. Up 33%. Yeah, well, that might we'll see what gold looks like tomorrow too. Again, this market's crazy. Halliburton, you were talking about this the other day as well. Luis Rodriguez, good old HAL, and it is continuing to ride up there. And what is IS? What does that even say? Does it say ISRG? That's what it is. And yeah, that was that surgical one. And obviously, we talked about this on Sunday night, guys. Holy cow. And said it was getting set up, and it just made the most insane move ever. And I don't know why we weren't in it. So, yeah, that's why I keep saying we're definitely going to do better. That's for sure. McDonald's we looked at. NDLS is Noodles and Company right there. And another restaurant one running up there. So, yeah, keep an eye on Noodles, NDLS. That could continue tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Not looking bad. NDLS. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I mean, that does look pretty good to try to continue its way up. And let's see, REGN right there, Regeneron, whatever it is. That one is trying to curl up, Luis Rodriguez. That one could be really good for the rest of the week or into next week. And what the heck's that say? SLB, oil and gas one. Keep an eye on that. That doesn't look bad right there, SLB. So yeah, that one looks pretty good. And your Toyota Motor was running up. I did see that today, hitting some resistance up there, but it was running up. And your UAMY was running up. And your 4Us was definitely running up too. And that could be a little momentum play there tomorrow for UUUU. It has 4Us, energy fuels, and UUU is still dipping down there, university safety. So the 4Us is better than the 3Us right there. And there you go with them, Luis Rodriguez. And let's see what's going on with this list. VT, what is that? VTYX? Ventix Bioscience is trying to run up in the after hours right there. It's like blown off the chart. Let me look at it over here. VTYX. Yeah, that one ran up pretty big. I didn't even know about that, so not sure exactly what's going on. They must have had some kind of news. Now it's positive top line phase 2 for something, and reductions in inflammatory and cardiovascular risk markers in patients with obesity and cardiovascular risk factors. Well, that'll sell big in this country, you know that. And MGN right there is kind of just hanging out unless it really popped up in the after hours. I can't even tell. MGN. And let's see, it did. Megan's Holdings. I'm not sure what she's up to, but her holdings, and it's an engineering construction company in Malaysia, and it does look pretty good right now, running up there. SGBX right now. Safe and Green Holdings. We had recently just looked at this, and that one is ripping up there. So there you go. And we were talking about this thing not long ago, and I even think yesterday. And yeah, that's curling up. That could be a good play for tomorrow. SGBX metal fabrication right there. And let's see, what else do you have on there? TPET is an oil one, right? Oil and gas, yeah, for TPET. And that's Trio Petroleum. That looks pretty decent right there for TPET. Yeah, look at that thing ran up. That could be a good one in the morning as well. So keep an eye on TPET. That could have a little momentum there. And BRN right here. Let's see what BRN is doing. And that one is Barnwell Industries, and it has run up a little bit right there, BRN. And there you go. So, yeah, some good ones right there. We'll see if they can keep the momentum tomorrow and what's going on with them. So we'll definitely keep our eye on some of them bad boys right there. We'll go through them and see if they want to keep on popping up there. And let's see what else is going on. Laptop Travel said the first popped up, YYAI first popped up on our scanner September 28th right there, guys. So let's see when it was. I remember it was right around here. Oh, September 28th. That was way back there. Well, didn't it take a big dip? Let me see. That's 25th. Where are we? 26, 29. So right around there. And it was over the weekend. So yeah, thing was running up a little bit. I just remember taking a big old dip right there and then just kind of timing it out the last few days. But anyway, that is at YYAI. And yeah, that was a beauty right there today. You think oil will keep going for a few days. It didn't look too bad. Deep soul diving, like I was saying. And that RBNE was rolling right there, I must say. And yeah, I was talking about it in the after hours there. And I would say that bad boy got pumping. So there you go at RBNE. It's all the way up here, guys. So there you go. That is cruising along and looking pretty strong in the morning. And another oil and gas one right there. So we'll see how big RBNE can run, and that EONR. We'll be watching that Doge Mama 9. That was a beauty today. And Deep Soul Diving said I was a month early. So yeah, we were always a month early. I think we just have to time some of them out. I'm not gonna lie, but it's all good. That's why we love to do this, and we're always into it and picking everything out beyond we were early for. And YYAI. And yeah, that was good ones right there. TMDE, INDO, Utah Uties. I had mentioned that TMDE. I like that as well. And I'm telling you, this one and that RBNE, which I was mentioning today in the Discord in the after hours, and then it ripped in the after we got off. I hopped off, and then I hopped off right around 4:15, and then look at it right after 6 o'clock right there, 6:31. This bad boy was like, "Yep, it's time to get cruising, everybody." So strap up and let's roll. And I wish I had said, yeah, Progressive G, just get into it now because it looks beautiful. We were literally talking about it, and I said, I'll let you guys know it is looking good. I didn't think it was going to run up like that in the after hours. So, yeah, TMDE, definitely keep that on your watch list in the morning. That could do the same thing. We know that likes to make big moves like RBNE and INDO right here is an oil and gas one. That looks pretty good, I must say. So, yeah, I would keep an eye on that INDO as well. That looks pretty good. Utah Utes, so I do like that. That QCLS, how's that look? I know we were looking at that the other day. And let's see, it is dipping down there. Let's see if it can bounce off at a MACD right there, QCLS. And let's see what it wants to do. Again, it's still over the MACD. If it gets rolling and back into that channel, it'll get popping right there. That is a computer hardware one, but never really had that crazy run. Had a recent reverse split, so maybe that could get moving right there. DJT, you already told us, has 2.3 billion of Bitcoin, and so yeah, that's we do know that. And again, DJT and ABTC right here, Michael Anthony, is the Trump crypto family company. It's called American Bitcoin Corp. So if you want another one right there, and again, we're watching that until it completely bottoms out, and obviously as the when they want to get completely set up and go. And you said the markets are going lower. I have to agree. I do think so tomorrow. And let's see, ABTC, BMNR. Yeah, you're gonna like them guys. They're all your Bitcoin and crypto treasuries right there. And let's see, what's your bottom for SPY, Michael Anthony? That's a good question there. Laptop travel. Let's see what Michael, if I could type in the, what the hell am I typing in? SP, what am I doing? Let me do it by one finger there. I can't seem to type. But what's your bottom for the SPY? You think we're coming down to the 50 at 656 right there, Michael Anthony? You tell us what you think. And let's see what kind of ETFs do we want? And that's what I figured. I was talking about that. Yeah, I just think like all the good ones now, obviously our Mag 7, and they keep adding some. So any of the good Mag 7 ones, whether they're bullish or bearish, and then kind of any that are on this list right here that have them. I'm not even sure. Like does Intel doesn't have any ETFs, right? Nah. Oh yeah, they do. INTW. See, they do have one. So yeah, we can kind of, that one looks like it's pulling back right there for the Intel one. But yeah, I was just gonna kind of add a bunch of the ETFs just to have. I mean, that like is almost the same exact price. That's kind of weird. But anyway, I was just gonna add a bunch of them. I know like AMD has AMDL and these things. So any that are new that are that we don't have on our list, just kind of add them on there and see, does Mara have any of what MARO maybe? This one right there. So yeah, but now it has like MRAL. So yeah, I thought that these guys all have new ones. So yeah, that's all. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go through and make like a really good ETF list. So we have that. And then, like I said, I'm going to make my notes on a separate page each night. So it's way more organized. And then we can really focus on exactly what's popping there, Zach. And let's see what MDAI is doing right here, Spectral AI. And that is pulling back right there. Let me check it out in the after hours, MDAI. And yeah, just a little bit of pullback. It could pull back a little bit more there, Zach. So I'd have to look at that. I can look at it in the morning for you. I'll jot it down right here and check it out for you right there. So there you go with that. And let's see what else is going on. 5-time ETFs are coming to the market soon. That'll be crazy right there, guys. So there you go with that. Laptop travel said, and we were talking about the iPhone Air, and then we were talking about whatever car that was. Actually paid 190 less dealer promo for your new iPhone than you would have paid for the iPhone 16 last year's model, as Apple's tried to keep the prices lower this year. That's sweet. And we were talking about, we didn't know what a Toyota Wigo was, but now we do know what a Toyota Wigo is. And we had posted one of them up there. So we all know one of them is a small little smart car right there, super cheap, and doesn't fit anybody probably big. What did Kramer say? Kramer said said stay away from, you said to stay away on LDI a few weeks ago. Well, that's beautiful because it looks great right now, and it's about to go popping tomorrow. So I'm glad Kramer said that. And again, he's like completely opposite. There you go, Michael Anthony. We always talk about it, and now you see the reason why we say that now. I don't know what the guy's on. He used to be accurate, but now he says stuff and the complete opposite happens. LDI looks great for tomorrow. And again, we're not going long. We go day by day and do this. So I don't know exactly what his time frame is or what he says, but Deep Soul Diving said he's tall and he gets claustrophobia. So he's not getting in the Wigo, and it's not for the person who wants quality, that's for sure. NASTS took a huge dip down there, that's for sure. And we were talking about some budget. I thought we were talking about budget motels, but we were talking about hotels. and that says the budget model for other companies, NASTS offering. Once that closes, the stock will rocket. When was that? They did do an offering. When was that? That's assist ASTS right there. And when was it? I forget when it was. Didn't they do something? I don't remember. But unless they have an offering, was this it? A 1 point convertible senior note? I don't really remember. Unless they're about to have an offering, I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, it did pull back. That's for sure right there. So that is ASTS, AST Space Mobile, and MFA holding at 9 right there. That's not looking bad. MFA Financial, Michael Anthony. I'll jot that one down right here and take a look at that in the morning. Looking pretty good to try to run up a little bit. And let's look at the IWM. And yeah, that's the IWM is the Russell's 2000, and it did take a dip today. And again, look at it. I do think it's going to test that 50. Will it come under and come all the way down to 230? That won't be good, I'll tell you that. And that could change the whole market around. I'm not so sure it wants to do it. And again, we're keeping an eye on our SPYs and our Qs as well to see if they want to come back to them 50s. So definitely be careful, that's for sure. And we'll be watching everything in the morning. You guys know that. And let's see, MRM. I know we looked at it. I forget what I even said there. And that was a healthcare one. And it is trying to curl up there. Not looking too bad. I'd look at that. UAMY is a U.S. source of anatomy, a very rare element needed for defense materials, and China won't export it. So that is why that one's always solid right there, UAMY. And it does look pretty good to try to roll off. We were looking at Las Vegas Sands, and it was rolling up there. And let's see. I can see that the high was 1612, and it wanted to go up. Like Tuesday wanted to go up. That was basing to go higher. And that is going to 18 if it wasn't for all the news, and has nothing to, I guess that's, I don't even know what you're talking about there. Which stock that even was, Michael Anthony. And because it's definitely not Tesla, because that's way up there. And we know that was missed its earnings. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure which one you're even talking about. Was it MRM? I have no idea. Can't be that one either. Was it UAMY? Maybe it's that one right there. I have no idea what you're even talking about. That high was not the 16. So yeah, I'm not sure, Michael Anthony, which one you were even referring to right there. But anyway, Tesla did come down. Everyone should know Avery Labels has grown in the online business. So yeah, I do know Avery Labels. I use them sometimes. And BATL and 9 right there. Let's see what's going on. BATL right here is Battalion Oil, and that jumped up pretty well in another oil and gas one. So guys, I'd be keeping an eye on oil and gas in the morning, because that seems to be pretty good to be running up there, I must say. And let's look at it right here. Didn't we just look? We looked at this like a week ago or so, and look at that bad boy setting up and running up there. So yeah, that one looked pretty good right there. What it was, 9 NINE. I forget what this even is. 9 Energy. And that's another oil and gas one jumping up. So, yeah, I would say keep your eyes on the oil and gas ones. That's for sure. I'm going to jot them two down right here. BATL and NINE right there. So, definitely good ones. Deep Soul Diving, we on that ETF list. That's funny. ETF 500 on that ETF list. I actually was discussing ETF if you were listening in the beginning. And again, the new coin that was launched by The Flawless tonight was called Bet, and it is just jumping around right there, obviously. And it's at what, a 484,000 market cap. So again, just got launched tonight. We'll see how much it can run up or what it can do right there. So it is a meme coin, and we'll see what happens with it. I told The Flawless if he launched it, I would buy some and support that. And so there you go with that. So yeah, I do have some of that, and we'll see what it wants to do. NXXT right here. It's kind of pulling back a little bit. Let's see what it wants to do. It is just kind of pulling back. And that Korean one, Laptop Travel, you've been talking about. Whoop, I just went crazy. What the heck did I just do now? I don't think that's the one that we want. NXTT, that's what we want right there. And then I'll bring that back up over here. All right, there we go. Yeah, I just messed that all up, didn't I? Yep, I sure did. But NXXT right here. Let's see what it wants to do. I remember when it ran up there. It is just kind of pulling back, and then that KORU is the Korean South Korea bull, and it had been running way up there. It looks like it might run up a little more. It looks like it pulled back there in the after hours. We'll have to look at it in the morning. You can see, but yeah, it had been running up there. For the Korean one, you've been talking about that one for a year. You're not kidding. Here's our overnight leaderboard. I'll just tweet that back right out there. Laptop travel, and Viking is up. I had mentioned that one earlier that they had their earnings. I was looking at it. It didn't look good to me. I just remembered that they had earnings today, and I'm not sure what even happened. So it is up like 75 cents in the after hours, it looks like. Let's see what Vikings doing right here. And yeah, nah, it doesn't look that great. I just happened to notice it there, the Las Vegas Sands and DNUT and Cosmos Energy. And look at Quantum trying to run up RGTI. Wow, is that really trying to run up there in the after hours? We'll have to see if these guys are if they're trying to bounce back up. What is it, RGTI? Because they took some nice dips right there, and we'll see how far they go down or if they want to parachute up. So we'll be watching them in the morning as well. So keep an eye on that. And let's see if I missed anything else right here. I think we got everything over there. And let's see if we missed anything over on here. Let me see. What's AZTR doing right here? I'm not even familiar with AZTR. Azirtra or something. I have no idea. It's a biotech company. It's way down there. We'll see if it wants to bounce. Not looking like anything crazy. YDKG. This one, didn't we look at this bad boy? That one is trying to crawl up right there. I think we did. Didn't we look at YDKG? I don't even know. But anyway, that one's not looking bad right there. And let's see what else is going on over here. If anything else catches my eye. Hold on one second and we'll see. Yeah, no, RGTI looks like it's down in the after hours. I don't know. And IONQ looks like it's also down in the after hours unless they're overnight hours. But usually StockTwits is pretty accurate with that. LAES looks like that's down. And a bunch of them, Tesla, QS, NBIS, like almost everything right there. IVF is even down a little bit right there. And let me see, TMDE is up and RBNE is up a little bit. Microsoft not looking bad right there. And let me take a look and see what else. INDO, we looked at that. BYND, we were looking at that INDO already. And so, yeah, I would say we got to everything right there. All quantums were shorted down today. I agree. And they were looking like they needed to be shorted down. So that is what they look like. Here you go, Asian stocks, gold retreat as momentum unwinds. Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ futures slip as Tesla falls after earnings. And in October, the trade tensions drive stock declines. U.S. stocks are hitting a speed bump. Why the rally could soon resume? It will. Stock futures edge lower as investors digest earnings and trade right there. So, like I said, nothing real crazy, guys. I expected it to be pulling back, and we did say that. There's that YDKG. I thought it was on the scanner somewhere. Ford had been running up. BENF ran up. AIRE, we talked about it. Bitfarms pulling back right there. And that DNUT was running up today. Big Bear pulling back. Open Door pulling back. RGTI plug right there pulling back. And DNN finally pulling back there. So, yeah, nothing too crazy jumping out. Tilray pulling back as well. Tesla pullback. There's that EPWK. That one might be one to watch tomorrow. And again, there's not a whole lot going on. That TQQ right there, NOK pulling back for Nokia. Rainy finally pulled back, RANI. And there's your UVXY. So, yeah, I would say that's a pretty solid market review right there. Not a whole lot getting set up, but we did go through everything that possibly looks good. And we'll go through everything in the morning at 7 a.m. So you guys know we'll be on for that. And again, be sure to follow along on X, Instagram, YouTube, and all that good stuff, and like the show. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for everybody tuning in. And sorry about the technical difficulties in the beginning. I appreciate everybody coming back. And yeah, it just wasn't working. I couldn't get the screen up there, but we got that fixed. I just restarted the computer. Seems to work every time. Just restart everything and it'll work again. So there you go. And again, the Flawless did launch that coin this evening. So that's what I was talking about for that thing, just to keep you in the loop. And I think we covered everything right there. So Thanks again for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Our World Series starts on Friday night, and all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence, Deep Soul Diving. Thank you for hanging out. And Laptop Travel, Luis Rodriguez, of course, Michael Anthony right there. He's always tuning in. Robin's always tuning in, and Joseph Levy, Zach as well. So many other people like Doge Mama 9 and Utah Uties. And who else was hanging out here? There were some other people up there. And yeah, I just greatly appreciate everybody tuning in all the time. Ever have questions, you guys know, feel free to shoot me a message on X. I do respond to everybody. And there you go for our market review tonight. We'll be on at 7 a.m. And those of you just tuning in, we do this show every Sunday night through Thursday night at 8 p.m. It's a nice little market review for everything. And then we do our pre-market show every morning, Monday through Fridays at 7 a.m. So hop on there and you can check out what's going on in the market. I run through everything. We see what's popping, look at the SPY Mag 7, all that good stuff. And did we ever look at crypto, guys? I don't think we did. So let's take a quick look at it. I don't need that. And there you go. Let's take a look and see. Pulling back to them 50s right there. And again, it's just pulling back. I still think they're going to be getting set up. So let them pull back a little bit. We had a feeling that they were going to be pulling back. There's Solana. And it is. They're just getting pulled back to set up. That BNB, though, didn't look too bad. I know Applied Digital Sciences or whatever that thing is, it was running up there at the end of the day. What is that one? Hold on, I'll tell you. BNBX, that's what it is. BNBX. That thing was trying to hop up here. Let me take a look at it real quick. BNBX right there. And yeah, it was running up a little bit today. And again, this one owns the BNB, which is the Binance coin, and they're going to be that treasury. I don't know why it was running up, but it was. And Ripple still down there setting up. Optimism still in the basement right there. So yeah, these things still have a little setup here, you guys. So we know what we're looking at. And we know it's looking pretty decent for tomorrow. So there you go, everybody. I would say a pretty fun market review. We just did our crypto. We did everything else. So yeah, we'll do our Jolie's jumpers in the morning. We'll look and see what else is going on. What's looking hot like AREB. That should be trying to pop up there. And even LDI, guys, that one looks pretty good for tomorrow. And again, looks good for tomorrow. We look and see what's going on and looks good day to day, and we find the poppers. So that's what we do best. And look at these setups. And again, even in a choppy market, we pull out the YYAI and know exactly which day it's going to run. And we time that out perfectly. So there you go, Doge Mama 9. Thank you. I greatly appreciate you hanging out all the time. And everybody, like I said, tuning in every day. It definitely makes me want to show up. I can tell you that. Again, I was like, oh man, there's technical difficulties. The thing wouldn't work. And I was like, hey, let me just hop on and tell you guys I got to restart it. Because I knew if I had to restart it would take like a couple minutes. And then it would have been like 8:05 and people would have been like, I try to start right on time, at least within the minute. And yeah, it's all about being reliable. And you guys know we're going to do the show. I don't show up and I tell you guys, unless I'm like really sick and I can't even function. That's about the only time I don't do them. I do them on vacations and everything else. So you guys know there's something not right if I don't show up for a show. That's why I wanted to get that right. We had a lot to go through. And again, we'll be looking at our gold tomorrow to see what it wants to do as well and everything else. So tune in at 7 a.m., guys, and we'll go right back through the market, see what's going on. We'll see what our best trades are, our best opportunities, and we'll try to lock them in. And obviously, that's what we try to do here. We trade smart, try to lock in those profits. It's the most important thing in the market. And as you can see, they can run up pretty big, just like BYND, but they're going to come down even harder. And we've learned that throughout the years. And that's why we say just take your profits when you're up on these things. I know it's sometimes very hard psychologically to hit that sell button because you just want it to continue to keep going higher and higher and higher. But when it stops going higher, higher, and higher, and it comes down like these did, that's when you're like, oh shit, because if you bought it up here, you wish you took your profits at 200 and now you're in the 130. So now you got to make up room unless you tried to catch it on the way down. And sometimes it's hard because they like to fall down pretty fast. So just a heads up. And that's why we go over the psychology of trading and the mindset and everything else, because it's all very important. and that's how you win in the market. And you're never going to win every single trade. Obviously, nobody can do it. You guys know, I tell you, there's plenty of losses, IVF, and a bunch of them. It happens all the time. You try to keep them as small as possible, and then you make your big hits like our AMD options and things of that nature. I think Microsoft may pay out and be a good one as well. It just took a little bit of time. So we'll see tomorrow what that looks like. So there you go. Either too soon or too late. That's the truth, Deep Soul Diving. And that's why you're constantly trying to time these things out. And I'm always trying to make my list better and better for watch lists, because we see every single thing that sets up and pops. It's a matter of getting in at the right time and getting out at the right time. Entry and exits are perfect. We can generally get in at the right time. It's a matter of getting out and selling for profits is always the hard part, I feel like, for everybody, because you just want it to constantly go up. And you see things like BYND, and then it like just makes your brain think that this can happen all the time. And it absolutely can. It's a one in, when they get short squeezed and hopped on social media and everything, everybody's jumping in it at the same exact time. That's when it happens. So you got to kind of look for that. But anyway, there you go, everybody. Hope everybody enjoyed that market review, a little bit of mindset. And again, keep your capital for when these things do pull back, because there are going to be nice poppers on the way up and you'll make plenty of money on that way. So just trade the quality ones and not try to do the quantity, and you'll definitely do way better. So thanks again, everybody. We'll be on at 7 a.m. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll catch you guys in the morning. Have a good night, everybody.